Thank you for joining. If you are a person of great dreams, a person of great aspirations, and you have so much potential and you believe in yourself, then this video is for you. With wasting no time, I would like you to join me as we examine the word endurance. Whether you believe it or not, this word endurance is affecting my life and your life one way or the other. Okay, uh, following my personal experience and my life testimony, I used to lack endurance so much. Okay, endurance is the opposite of quitting. Endurance, by definition, is the ability to withstand pressure, is the ability to go through tough time and not giving up. In the case of military, is the ability to put on with a very high potential combat without quitting. No wonder why they says Marines don't quit. Quitter don't win and winners don't quit. This word endurance, it is so much affecting the life of many young dreamers, especially people who are into the business world. Yes, I'm talking about starting a business, starting an organization, young entrepreneurs, and even people who are marriageable, women, men who have reached certain age and they think that they are getting late. Let's dive into endurance. And after this video, I believe you will have to look at life in different way because there will always be a need to endure. There will always be a need for the word patient. I don't want to use that word patient because it's kind of intimidating or it's like it sounds like wasting time. But endurance is in a better form. Okay. The Bible says in the book of Psalm 90 verse 12, teach us to number our days that we may apply wisdom unto our heart, that we may apply wisdom. Teach us to calculate our lifespan. Every day that passes, every year that goes, it is the measurement of your life. Life is measured in time, and time is what we live in. God created time, but He does not live in time. He has put us in time because we are immortal, because we are mortal, excuse me. He lives in eternity and He has put us in time because in time we have so much opportunity to review and re-examine and re-strategize lost opportunities. These are the importance of time. So endurance, it is the ability to withstand pressure, difficulties without giving up. And I like to put it this way, it is the ability to withstand pressure, difficulties without allowing it to reflect on your personal appearance. That would be a better definition. All right. So between what God told you, I don't want to say maybe tells you because you may say it passed already. Between what God told you and its fulfillment, there will be a waiting period. Between your dream and its realization, there will be a waiting period. Between your vision and its manifestation, there will be a waiting period. That nubler space between now and then, between yesterday and tomorrow, it's called endurance. Every one of us have to go through it, except if you are not a person with a dream. But if you are a person with a vision, if you are a person that is going after something very big, then you will have to taste what endurance looks like. In my personal life, and perhaps yours, the lack of endurance have caused us to lose many things. The lack of endurance have caused many lost opportunities. The lack of endurance have caused many great connections to be broken or to be lost. The lack of endurance have caused many businesses to collapse. The lack of endurance have caused many dreams to be dead. The lack of endurance have caused many people to give up because endurance is the space between when things starts and when things are to be finished. Endurance is a space between your hope and its fulfillment. It is like in the middle of it. And the middle experience is not always good. It's like you are embarking on a journey and you reach to a place where you can feel your destination. You can see your destination. You can look at your destination, but then you cannot lay hold of it. It is frustrating. It is very painful. It seems like everything, you know that you are born to be this. You know that the business is going to grow, but your environment is telling you something different. You know very well that this is who you are meant to be, but everybody that around you sees you in a different form. It's frustrating. You know you are born to become a leader, but then your environment says that you are a servant. Your environment says you are jobless, and you know very well you are a person who deserve better. But right now, everything that you are getting is not better. There is a need for endurance. That stage that you are going through is called endurance, and you have to go through it faithfully. So that when you get to the labor, it's called the labor room actually. So that when you get to the place of giving birth, you will be able to put birth to your child successfully. Every person who is going after certain things, I like to say we are pregnant. So people who are barren will not know the need for endurance. And when I mean people who are barren, I'm not talking about people who cannot give birth to a physical child. I'm talking about if you are a person of a dream, if you are a person of vision, if you are a person of uh, aspirations, it means that you are pregnant. We all are pregnant. We came into this world full of potentials. So you are pregnant with potentials. You are pregnant with manifestations that you ought to manifest. So if you are a person with great dream, that means you are pregnant. If you are not pregnant, if you do not have any dream, then I consider you as barren. Okay, so I'm not talking about a female right here. I'm talking about both male and female that have got something to deliver to the world. All right, that's what I'm talking about. Being pregnant, you owe the word and you ought to deliver certain things to the word. Endurance have the lack of endurance has suffered so many people, like I said, and you and I, one way or the other, we've been victim of the lack of endurance somehow, because every person we have to go through this, and sometimes if we are not careful, due to the lack of maturity, we don't handle endurance properly. And if we do not handle endurance properly, many things that we are to deliver to the world, we abort them or we give birth to them prematurely. And you know what happens to premature birth, premature delivery? Either the baby life is being lost or the mother is being in danger. So if we do not exhibit maturity in the stage of endurance, we may likely lose our baby, or we may be in danger. Our life may be in danger. And so there are people who went through this stage, and today they are called heroes. All right, let's take for example David. David in the book of First King, he was anointed to become king of Israel, but for 17 good years he was running away from Saul. Okay, David was anointed king, but for 17 good years he could not mount the throne. Why? Because Saul was still in power, even though God had left him, but he was still in physical power. So for 17 good years, David waited. That was the stage of endurance. And today, everybody talk about David. Abraham. Abraham was told that he was going to become the father of many nations, but for 25 good years, he could not have any child. He got married at 75, and for 75 good years, for 25 good years, he could not have any child with his wife. Sarah also waited. Hannah waited so long for the son Samuel to be born. She had to go through a long period of waiting before the son Samuel, who became the last king of Israel, was born, and the first prophet. So every one of us will be tested to go through the stage of endurance. You could be a wife and child hasn't come, or you could be a woman of a marriageable age and yet there's no man coming to marry you. This is a stage of endurance. You have to go through it with courage. You have to go through it with faith. You have to go through it with maturity. It doesn't mean you should lose your sanity. It doesn't mean you should abandon yourself because no man is coming to marry you. Or it could be a man. You reach the stage where you want to settle down and there is no marriageable lady, there is no suitors that is coming your way. You have to embrace and you have to love your stage of singlehood. And if in fact that's the time you should produce a lot of things and lay down better principles and foundations that will ascertain or enhance your marital life. So the stage of endurance is not something you should abandon, though it's very painful because you are close to it but you cannot apprehend it. You can feel it but you cannot touch it. You feel it giving up and you are very close to it. But I want to encourage you that if you are in the stage of endurance right now, I want you to go through it with faith. You are not going through it alone, and God hasn't abandoned you, God has not forsaken you, but rather He's preparing you for the great manifestation that lies ahead. Because if you are not prepared, you may not be able to withstand the next level that God is taking you. So every stage that you go through in life, it is meant to prepare you for the next stage. It's like you are climbing a ladder. You cannot jump over 2 and go to 3 because 2 prepares you for stage 3. So if you abandon or if you can quit on stage 2, definitely you are disqualified for stage 3. So every stage in life is preparing you for another. Today is preparing you for tomorrow. Tomorrow is preparing you for next tomorrow. And next tomorrow is preparing you for next week. Next week is preparing you for next month. Next month is preparing